I think somebody in our hard testing group did try it though, and wasn't super, just was fine. I'll ask today. Maybe what I'm doing is stupid, maybe I should just play something, but I mean, how is my opponent going to punish me? What, you're gonna normalize my hopeless nightmare? Bros, playing Pixie against Control is so incredible. This matchup seems so good. Start your engines! Change the equation. Alright, equation has been changed. I'm playing around normalize. Can't let my Sunpearl Kirin get countered. Ooh, fountain board. Well, we have to act now. Slowly but surely. So maybe I do want to scry now. Hitting a Kaito would be probably quite good. Although with the Tataba in hand, let's not. Any predictions for metagame at Bologna? It's gonna be red decks, Pixie, Control, Domain. Hope that helps. Also playing with Get Lost against Pixie, Bane. Whoa. Well, resolves. Do I care about getting hit for a 6? Not really. Bezak. Interesting. They get a card. Maybe I can bounce the whale now. They do get a card nonetheless. Why didn't I bounce it instantly then? I was supposed to. Well, mess my scry, but I guess actually it's good. Oh, I thought about the 1/1s. Yeah, that's why. Of course. Yeah. Well, that's horrible. It would be incredible if my opponent just had the whale in their hand right now. Although they would counter my stock up. So maybe it would be not so incredible after all. Land was better than Nightmare. Not necessarily. Could have bounced your Pixie too to not get fished anyways. True. See, chat, that's why we are hard testing. To not do that at the actual tournament. Am I playing Pixies in Bologna? Probably. Do we like Sheoldred against control? Not really. Do we like NTR hentai? No nie, zacząłem mówić to. Do we like NTR? No, we don't. Destroy Evil sounds solid. GTFO. Momentum Breaker. Grim Bauble out. Duress. And Dreams of Steel and Oil in. NML in. Sheoldred probably not in. But need to find 2 more cards. Probably have too many anti-control cards in the sideboard. Could cut 1 Hopeless Nightmare because of Wildleaf Liege. And register 61 because just as a note to the fact that I have 1 too many cards. I think the No More Lies, I will probably only play 1. Don't love the card so much. Is Dreams that good versus Control? I think they have many creatures, so... I think it's good enough. They have the Whale. Beza. Likely Overlord of the Mistmoors. One lockdown in Pixie main, specifically for Bologna given its open deck list. Well, makes some sense. Like it can be alright, and the other matchups to just play lockdown and trigger all of your nightmares. Picking it up in the draw step. NML Exiles, which is not good. But 3 steps ahead, I'm fine with. Ooh, can take Pixie. I'll pick up the Overlord or the Talent. I think the Overlord. I think Overlord seems like a way better version of the room. Beza. Gain life. Sure. Make fish. Grab either Entity Tracker or Kaito. I think Entity Tracker sounds better on this board. Maybe I can cycle the token. Maybe keep the Overlord in play now. Not sure what to do. Maybe should pick up the Fear of the Night. So I kinda would want to draw lands. This is a way to draw lands. I do throw away the token if they counter. I think the biggest issue with Lockdown and Pixie is the mana cost. It is quite brutal. Guess I can attack. Oh no, I got Aspen Smitten. Should never attack against their deck. Momentum Breaker, incredible card. If I activate Talent and I get hit by Get Lost or something, that sounds really bad. Really? Well, makes sense, they actually get to spend a lot of mana. Alright, show me the Wildleaf Liege now. Flanker, good. Another flanker and a useless smite. Probably should block a fish token. We're out grinding my opponent. I'm the control deck now. Attack with a 2/3. Probably should do that. Yeah, that's a good point. Because I'm not blocking with it anyways. And pick up the Overlord. Already on 2 counters, so maybe I don't want to. But it's a guaranteed way to draw 2 more cards. They did not activate the Restless Anchorage either, which makes me think that there is a chance they did draw a counter. Worst stopping ever. Activate talent wasn't better. No, I'm activating a talent with the land I draw. Flanker. It's a bit of an issue. Yes, Black Overlord seems fine to play if you... Do I need to draw something? Not necessarily, but... Bros deck is like 4 Elspeth Smites. Seems like a medium card, frankly. This cycles. Darkslick Shores not particularly great. Guess I might go to 1 life. Should draw first in case you had bounce. That's a great point. I missed that. Five, 6 Beza is a pain. Oh yeah. Bottom. Kirin is great. Kirin. Pick up the Overlord. Impede. Draw. Oh, awesome. I have to be careful not to mill myself at some point. Right, should survive. They draw the Horned Lock Est Whale. Pretty funny how much of an aggressive stance my opponent has to employ here. This down. Maybe let's draw. No attacks yet. I have to balance on the edge of the scale. I drew land. No attacks. So I can bounce maybe Beza and either Talent or the Hopeless Nightmare. Well, Nightmare. Right. Can make a lot of tokens. I could, yeah. Try card. Fine. Hmm. Just copy. Fine. Not even counter, so you take 2 and I draw 1. So now, do I kill them? Yeah. That was an incredible game for my opponent to lose, but also, well, I mean, it wasn't that incredible. Oh, I just 2-0 them because I won game 1? Holy shit. This kind of stinks, but maybe it's a keep. I thought that Pixie is gonna be weak to... Is it? With Cory Steel Cutters, but frankly, it's way less of an issue than I thought. Hopeless Nightmare really makes it inconsistent for the Izzet deck to double spell, and then if you don't have Cory Steel Cutter, the rest of the deck sucks into Pixie. You don't play the aggro cards, your bar versus domain. Yeah, but like I would rather just have a bad domain matchup. Also, like it's probably way better now that you can instant speed with Kirin and all of that. Probably way better. Might be a this town ain't big enough turn. Use a 2-mana card to spend my mana better. Could Nightmare and pick up the Nowhere to Run. But I don't really have a great block. I'll bounce the free drop. Is Esper better than Orzhov? I will need to look at Orzhov Pixie lists because frankly I have not played against any and I have not seen many. I played against one Orzhov list as control and my opponent just had lockdowns themselves but they failed to do anything. I think the Stormchaser's talent being a cheap thing to proactively bounce so good, while also not foregoing any late game. Spawns a 2-mana card. Try the Dimir version lately. Is that a question or a... I have not played Dimir lately, no. Guess I'll NTR the Hardclaw. A bit scared of good pixie lists that don't play less good cards like the 3-2 or Scavenger when playing red. Especially since everyone is on lockdown now for Cory. You mean that everyone besides Pixie is on lockdown or that... Really? Tersa? Wow. That seems like a crazy play. Like I'll be so paralyzed with the NTR and 1 mana up. But I guess he just doesn't have Monstrous Rage and he didn't think of representing it. I mean that everybody else is on lockdown, yes, yes. Well, I have one lockdown on my sideboard, which is not really all that hard tested yet, but I've seen people play it. I cut down on mana sources. to support that. But yeah, certainly true. I think the one drop approach to Pixie is solid, but it just pushes you towards playing 10 pain lands, and you can just play a bit slower and play 5 pain lands. For 4 mana, Sunspine Links. Resolves. I take 2 damage. It's a big deal. Maybe I will anti-air the Hired Claw. Think Saduva is ghosting us. Could be. Could freeze the links with Kaito. Could bounce it. Oddaj się, kurwa, ziomuś, ja ci dam. Think I'll bounce it. I can block the links and bounce the Pixie. I think bouncing links is fine. I will take 3 more from the cat. Jak on się świeci, ja pierdolę. Manifold Mouse. Sits, as they say in Polish. Fierce, Stockab and Kaito, all quite bad. Red Boy 16 shot and killed in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood in position number 4 to the queue. That's pretty bad, pretty rough times. O Chrystusie, Synu Boga, spójrz proszę na ziemię. I won't destroy evil against his mouse. I think Lockdown seems really bad against what Sodek has represented so far. Dreams of Steel and Oil maybe against the cat. Destroy evil is a bit, you know, not great. Let's try it like that. Well, this is insane. If I draw, I nowhere to run in my first draw step. The mana is good and I have a play. Maybe I just play a Pixie on turn 1 to start pressuring. I can pick it up later. For Giga value. 1 damage per turn after all is not nothing. You know what? Actually, I will double block. It's a counter, I love it. Cannot really compete with my value. Co ty, Piotrek, nie wyspałeś się? Działamuś, nie podskakuj. Now I just would like to draw some lands. Dupa, nie lands. Maybe picking up the Kirin was better, but I think the amount of mana is more of a limiting factor. This game is gonna be hard if I get lynxed, though. I am getting lynxed. How to solve the lynx question? I brought in normalize. Go for the fraud helps probably as well. Alright, no monsters rage. Seems like Solek doesn't really, like, he just really attacks face up with what he has. Maybe not, maybe he has a rage and he's gonna blow me out. But it really didn't seem like it. Lynx maining is a bit psychopathic. It's a thing that Sodek is trying, and, well, it's a bit of an issue, this game. Don't think I have much to do now, missing the land. Guess I'll play talent. No, I can block my way. There's no monsters rage, which it seems like there wasn't. Are we visiting the Rockface village or playing a screaming Nemesis? Okay. Well, it is actually a horrible spot, but maybe. Maybe I should go to 1 and that'll block a lynx. I think I'm dead now. Yeah, I am pretty dead. I'm absolutely dead actually. Maybe picking up the Overlord for the first time was a bit bad, and if the Overlord stayed on the battlefield I would be in a better spot, but I just ran out of mana and died. So mono red Soduva, main deck lynxes. After we've played this game. Put back Fear of Isolation. Then we have a nice curve of 1, 2, 3. Count yourself lucky, I came upon you. This is not a world of second chances. So true. How old is Pixie in your opinion? What do you mean, Sodek? Fairy. Could be anything. Because she kind of looks like an older lady, but it's kind of the shadows just falling on her face. So it looks like actually a young lady. Also, welcome raiders. Itaka GG. Well, GG, GG. I'll take 1 damage to play my Stormchaser's talent. Once again. Opponent keeps torching. I wonder how far will that take them. To just shock all of my 2-for-1s. Probably would rather just put the tracker into play. And Pixie pick up the talent draw. Maybe not. The swamp might be a bit hard to use then. Cory. Bros, remember day 1 to 5 of the format when Cory was so broken, and nowadays that's all the Cory decks do is just the puniest shit available. Just summon a Cory, no token, shock your Stormchaser's talent thing. Basically concede on the spot. The tracker can block if my opponent double spells. There's a chance they will be tapped out with attacking 2/2s. Seems like trading life points is not in my interest currently. Alright, villain. Show me what you've got then. Casting. Paying costs. Opt. Solid start. Glacial Dragon Hand. Whoa, new card. I guess my entity tracker is gone. No attack. That's crazy. They also discarded Unending Whisper. For giga value. Let's raise then. Opponent is taking the control role now, which I'm honestly happier than if they didn't block. I think it is possible that I would get outraced and die this game. Abradic. Main deck upgrade, bro, is really playing a blue-red control deck. Is that the Tolerant Tower deck? That's probably what it is. Yeah, it's a Tolerant Terror deck. 1 card left in hand though, with Unending Whisper and Glacial Dragon Hand. I'll pick up the stock up. You want to control me? I'll control you back. Really, bro? You're never gonna attack? Think you're gonna win like that? You cast a Dragon Hand over the Whisper. How much is Whisper? Blue 5. Discard Spire Bluff Canal. This is pretty classic. Like, I've seen so many people do that. Discard a land to Glacial Dragon Hand, expecting it to accomplish anything, but it actually doesn't. I should lands with this. Do I want land number 6? Maybe under talent is actually better. Talent is better. This will make it harder for them to double spell. Another Cory. So my point will just never like created 1 monk with their Cory. Kinda crazy. And DB Kanister wins. This was frankly Not very impressive. Let's bring in Sheoldred, Loran, cut Kaito on the draw. Probably bring the lockdown. We didn't see any small creatures, so I think I actually don't want Grim Bauble. And I will guess I should expect the Tolarian Terror, so I will bring Destroy Evil and Dreams of Steel and Oil. Maybe trim Enter ×2. Keep the Pierce likely. Maybe trim one stock up, but honestly seems not so bad. Maybe trim maybe trim the Overlord. Maybe trim the Fear of Isolation. No, I 2-3 is way too good in the matchup. Maybe trim one Kirin. A bit slow on the draw. And I cannot really pick NTR against this individual all that easily. Oh, well, you know what they say. I keep. So I say that as well right now. They assuredly play talents. No. Sleight of hand. Oh, that's really bad. At least I can cast my Sheoldred though. And it seemed like my opponent's deck might be a little bit ill-equipped to handle Sheoldred. Half Elemental. I did suspect that maybe this should be a teamwork deck with beans on top of everything else, huh? Would make some sense. Discard your hand to draw 2 cards, especially incredible in a beans deck, but I guess you would just cast the actual elemental half of the card. Mostly. Sean McLaren. Spell Pierce. Alright, I'll pass with a Spell Pierce then. I can counter a Cory Steel Cutter. Questing Druid is a good card as well, that's true, but it's probably pretty impossible to have a deck that supports Questing Druid. Well, I guess Questing Druid and Half Elemental actually kind of works, right? So maybe it's actually just fine. Draw a card. I mean, resolves. I don't think I even want to cast my Momentum Breaker, seems just bad to do. Well, if I draw a white source, it becomes good, but 8 of my white sources are tapped now, so I think letting my opponent discard a card might be just bad. Spell Pierce can counter a stock up or something like that if my opponent plays it. If they play a Cory Steel Cutter, I will also Spell Pierce it. Yeah, free color and standard is a challenging strat for sure. Will you be able to answer my Sheoldred? They have 6. Take 2. Sunspine Links. Alright. Could be worse, my friend. Sacrifice your links. Pick up my Momentum Breaker. Gain speed. I stock up. DB Kanister wins the match. The only loss to Sodex Lynxes. But it was a pretty drastic one. Sure, I'll keep this. Keep free lands. Fast lands. think makes sense. If I try a fourth one, I guess I'll have a top land. Well, I guess I have a top land now. I won't play the mountain. Let's just play the nightmare if I want to. This down on turn 3 or something. I'll be closer to that. Alright, we have this traded for a mountain. Emberheart Challenger. But I barely knew her. Tersa Lightsaber. Discarding Lightning Strike and Manifold Mouse. You're telling me a man felled this house? Mouse? Kinda wild how I take damage from every haste creature before I kill it. How are you supposed to win, right? I feel like every creature deals damage to you before you can answer it. So eventually enough creatures will kill it. This is like a burn deck. Money-filled mouse. Sure, buddy. There's these nuts. I wish. I really wish. Monstrous Rage can deal numerous points of damages to me, but I think I'll be fine. I'll take 6, go to 9. Your move. Make it so that my opponent cannot activate the Soulstone Sanctuary. Well, of course they can, but make it so that they won't. And that they will not get an attack with that. Dead wrong I was. NTR the Soulstone Sanctuarium. Take 2. Go to 7. Kill the last of my opponent's monsters. Well, at some point kill the last of my opponent's monsters. And hope that they will not throw enough Rockface Village monsters at my face. They can have Monstrous Rage. Definitely block. Yeah, that's what I said, they can't have a Monstrous Rage. So I am not worried about it. Pick up the Overlordos. Pick up the Sunpearl Kirin. Pass to my opponent. Now that they have 5 mana, I can Kirin. Maybe I should pick up the Nightmare actually. Because I think now the danger is this exactly, Boar's Lightning. Want to avoid their last card being that, and I have to kill them before that's gonna be the case. Lightning Strike. Ooh, that's also under deck. That's spooky. Borscht Lightning, yeah. Hopefully they drew Rage now. They drew Mountain, I hit them to 8. So next turn I hit them for... If they don't draw a lethal burn spell, I hit them for lethal. Oh, don't, please. That's fine. Well, almost. They have another look at Borscht Lightning. Big reveal. Rockface Village, that's fine. So I can deal 8 to them right now with my best manland MTGO Restless Anchorage, and we can also Hopeless Nightmare. DB Kanister wins. Mono red has been defeated. Seems like Lynx is the problem card. Maybe I should play Dreams of Steel and Oil against the Lynx then. The stock up is just impossible to play against them ever. Lockdown seems super bad to me. Nah, Destroy Evil is too bad. Maybe I can trim 2 Nightmares for 2 Steels and 2 Oils. Lockdown good. I think the mono red list, they just play 7 or 8 free drop free freeze. I don't love that. Cutting Hopeless is a big mistake. Okay, what do you suggest as an alternative then? Pretty integral. It's pretty great. I don't love cutting it. But I do replace it with Grim Bauble, so I do have stuff to pick up. But I guess it's a pretty hard sell for that. Cut Overlord and Tracker, just entirely no card advantage. Which I guess it's fine. I still do, like, everything does card advantage, so I guess that does make sense. No More Lies looks late. I died to Lynx last match, which I don't know about late. Maybe I can have a Destroy Evil over a No More Lies, but I guess it does make sense. Those cards don't look good against red, and I think I just avoid playing them until I'm already winning. Maybe we'll play the Steel and Oil and one No More Lies. Spell piece hasn't been looking good. I think Sheoldred is fine enough. It's pretty hard. I was wondering if I could play Beza in Pixie. Sheoldred is similar, but also easier to cast. And probably better. Will they bring in the red case? Maybe? I'm not really worried about the red case. I think it's... Well, I guess it's alright against Hopeless Nightmare, but... If the game starts like this, then I like my chances. Let's play that 2-3 blocker now. Should I? Maybe I should just kill it. But then I'm out of removal. Let's pick up the Grim Bauble so I can double spell. Could also pick up the Darkslick Shores and play the Stormchaser's talent, but that seems weak to me. Alright, so Monstrous Rage makes it into +3/+1, which is a 4/3, which means that this block is bad, so no point. I can afford to take it. Seachrome Coast, great draw. Play the Grim Bauble. Kill one of the hired claws, and now I guess I'll pass. Interesting attack. Nope. Okay, we're playing. Yeah, I guess it does make sense to cut all the expensive stuff versus Monored because you're pretty good anyways. Like, you're good at creating card advantage against creatures. So you don't really need more extra card advantage. The extra card advantage is for the card advantage matchups, not mono-red aggro matchups. Sounds fine. I mean, opponent is just on no out, so I can start nightmaring their hand. DB Kanister wins the match. Do you think that Lynx is a strong card to bring in against Pixie deck in general? Upon seeing how those matches play out, well, Sodak absolutely demolished me, but mostly because I was mana screwed, but well, I would be potentially able to beat many other cards if I had not been mana screwed. If not for that, so tricky. I think I could solve this problem largely by not playing another Go for the Throat. But yeah, certainly that does make sense, Soduva. Least awkward mana spendage ever, but we did counter the Cory, Steel Cutter, so that's good. I think the basics mana base honestly has been working pretty good for me so far. I hadn't had much issues, maybe on like 5 cards when I only get to keep 2 lands. A basic was a bit stinky from time to time, but leveling up the talent, really interesting play. What prompted you to do so, opponent? Just have nothing, or did you think you can pick up Cory Steelcutter? I think just nothing is the answer. One bottom, unlucky really. Pick up opt. Am I going to play at RC Bologna? Yes, I will. Currently planning to play Pixie. Pixosa. I mean, if they ultimate, it's a bit awkward. Is Bologna a cool city? Never been here. Well, I've never done anything in Bologna either. I just played Magic tournaments there. Seemed... I don't remember a single quality of Bologna. I've been there 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. But I just have no recollection of anything happening during those trips that was tied to Bologna and not tied to Magic, so... No, I think we had a walk through Bologna, and it was nice, a bit... How would you say it? Rustic? I remember now. Rustic vibe. Go for the throat. Sounds like a good draw. Yeah, it was a lot of degrees. I remember there was a bunch of trees with the cicadas or some other bugs like that, which were incredibly loud. The warmer it got, the louder they were, and they were just hacking, going. But super loud. And the closer you got to a tree, the more crazy it was. You couldn't see any of them, but they were so loud. So I hope to meet with those individuals once again on my Bologna trip. Bologna is nice, good food, old city center, lively with young people. Nothing super special though. What's a city where you go and you eat and there is just bad food? I have too much versus too much to bring in. Maybe Duress gets cut, I guess. In that case, just Dreams of Steel and Oil and hit their Cory Steel Cutter. Maybe the Sheoldred is not so great. The Pareto principle, 80-20. Will I be playing Pixie in Bologna? Yeah, as of today. Discard spells are kinda weak against a deck with cantrips. I just want to cast it and nab Cory Steel Cutter, which is the main way I think I can lose. If it comes to that, I'll bounce it and then replay the Dreams of Steel and Oil, because that's one thing that my deck does. A so-called synergy. I think GTFO is kinda... well, if they have links. Maybe Grim Bauble is not great. It actually doesn't have many great targets. Like, what do I want to Grim Bauble? A Monk token? Yeah. And this is a deck with cantrips, but they do need to cast their cantrips first. Or rather, they need to cast their threats first and then cantrips later, and it doesn't really work the other way around, so I don't think it really applies in this scenario. Oh yeah. Kurwa. 25 lands Pixie when? I think I just played Upland, seems better than rushing it out. Taking more damage from my Caves of Koilos. Cory Steel Cutter. But I barely knew her. We have the Loran, so one Monk is manageable. Turn to Cory, GG. Well, they have 3 cards in hand. They probably can double spell, but not actually quite. Maybe they can double spell on my turn. Loran trzeciej ścieżki. Chyba kurwa ścieżkę koksu se tutaj wciągnę z radości. 3 Spell Pierces in hand. I have found Spell Pierce to be the worst possible card in the matchup. So I'm glad if my opponent doesn't, because that means that I was wrong. I guess it's fine against stock up. Lithomantic Barrage, ja pierdolę. Bro, what are those cards? Why did you bring them all? What do you hope to barrage? A 2 free flyer? Bro, I moved to 5, that's pathetic. You moved to 0. Almost. Okay, fair. I take it back. You're doing good, bro. Good attack with the Manland seems a bit bad. To pay 1 life to deal 2 damage and make him up. 80 might be your favorite number. Article on Wikipedia. Curious. Most people probably would not really have any. Parents resolve, flip 2 mountains. Sure. It sure does. Sleet of Hand, alright. All that cantripping for nothing. Great draw. Their deck looked so pathetic, I agree. Oh, they kept a Stormchaser's talent for the next game? Cool. Well, that card was actually pretty solid and it could do some work for them picking up a stock up. I don't know why they didn't play it. Rens Resolve, it sure does. Well, another Rens Resolve, they're comboing off. Why not bounce to get the last card? Maybe. Now they have a lot of cards. Can you plot from exile? I don't think so. You can just cast from exile only. Just bounce the Pixie and Nightmare. Kind of feel comfortable when I have a this down in my hand. That's why I didn't do that, but your arguments are sound and I hear them. I'm not ignoring those. But yeah, the last card was better than Stormchaser's talent, so that's a good argument for actually countering it. Also, bros, Pope Franciszek died yesterday, right? And I have to confess something to you. I seen Pope Francis on TV on Sunday, and I haven't seen him in a while. I don't really watch TV, right? So I don't really have many opportunities to see the Pope, but when you are at your family, you often do end up watching some TV because the older generation likes to put it on in the background. Always. And I thought, holy shit, he looks like he's about to die. Wouldn't be surprised if it happens any day now. And then he just died. The Mudlot actually did it. Instantly. So it was pretty awkward on Monday. I was like, oops. Sorry, Pope Francis. I did not mean to do that. Giovanni_tab, thank you very much for the sub. Okay. Pixie's dead, bro. Got it. Any strong Polish contenders for the title of Jan Paweł III right now? God, I really hope that they will choose Jan Paweł III now. Because that just would be so funny and incredible. John Paul III.